Right then, hello. I just wanted to show you a bit of a glimpse into my betting for the day, or at least how I prepare for my betting for the day. Not necessarily going to put all these bets on, but just want to show you how to prepare and how I set up my trading plan. So let's have a look. Coming over here to the Poisson Sheet. So what I've done here is create a list of all the fixtures that are being played today that are covered by the leagues that we've got data on. And what I did this morning is go through all of the matches and put them through the Poisson calculations and the Dutching calculations, and then add them to a separate sheet, which I created just a blank sheet for today, and merged them all together. So I've got one list of all of the matches and what my thoughts are on them, because that way you can easily look through and decide which ones you want to stake on, because you don't necessarily want to bet on every match. I certainly wouldn't be betting on everyone just because it says lay or back or Dutching. It doesn't mean that I'm definitely going to do that. It means that that would be the option if I were to decide to stake on that match. That would be the angle that I would be looking at after my research, but it doesn't mean that that's definitely what I'm going to do. So, I mean, if we look, we've got a game in the German third today, which is the first one that kicks off at 6 o'clock, so about an hour after, about 40 minutes after recording this. So what I did there was go here and create the Poisson data, take the top 5 scores and the odds. I used my German third division fixtures page to put that in, find the real odds from Betfair. In this particular one, I haven't got the Betfair odds because the Betfair weren't offering a correct score market. I don't know if they've changed that nearer to kick-off. No, they're not. I've got a lay on, which I'll explain in a minute. But so there were no Betfair odds, so we couldn't get the Dutching. But so what I did then was grab that and add it to my 7th of February fixture list, which is today, obviously. Whack that in at the top, and then I took it says Betfair, I took the Bet365 odds, just for illustration purposes. I won't be Dutching on Bet365 because I like to trade rather than bet when I'm doing the Dutching. But that's just so that you can see what that looks like. And so then I make some notes normally on them. I made a note on this game, but I've decided that I wanted to lay the home team in this one, after looking at the stats and seeing that there's value in the away win and in the draw, quite a lot of value in the draw. So, I mean, looking at the table, Würzburg are bottom of the table, and Saarbrücken are much higher up the table and at home, so you can see why they're favourites, but the value suggests that they're slightly shorter odds than they should be, and the opposing them has more value. So I've just put a little lay in there for the £15 that I would normally do on the Dutching market. I've put a lay in of £15, and we'll see how that goes, and I'll more than likely be trading in and out of that position throughout the match. So the next match is Atletico Bilbao versus Espanol in La Liga. I've got no bet here, just my personal sort of choice. These are the Dutching suggestions that we've got, if that were the way you wanted to go. I'll just make a little note, and the reason that I've decided, when I first looked at this, I was thinking I was definitely going to be laying Atletico Bilbao because of the massive odds in terms of the value, but this is where you've got to do your research as well. They've got no Raul de Thomas, who is their top scorer, scored 12 goals for Espanol. He's basically the only one who scores any goals for Espanol, and he's out suspended. So the odds will reflect that, but our value odds won't, because the Poisson distribution model doesn't look at the soft stuff. It doesn't look at injuries, suspensions, weather conditions, stuff like that. That's why you can't use these as straight predictions, which is why when I give you this model, I always say these are not me giving you predictions. These are Poisson distribution model figures. You need to then go and do your own work with them before actually laying anything. So I've decided not to bet on that match because of that key injury, suspension, so you need to be aware of these things. And then we've got a game in Italy in Serie A, and I've gone for back in Spezia, the away team in this one, and my notes show that they've won their last 3 matches, and the home team are rock bottom of the league. They've only won 1, drawn 1, and lost 8 home matches, and they've lost their last 6 home matches in a row. Some people would argue that they're due a win. I don't subscribe to that theory. If I'm betting in this way, if this is my strategy, I'm using the data. I'm not using the due a win kind of. I get it, but that's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at data. So and the odds here are massively favourable in terms of value for the away team. So I'm going to put a back on those. I could Dutch it. I might Dutch it actually. I haven't put back or Dutch here, but I might Dutch in 0-1, 0-2, 2-1, 1-1. So that would be quite a nice Dutch actually. So I think I'll probably go down that angle. But like I say, I'm just putting this here just to. I'm going to actually add that in there just to give me a note. So when it comes to, I think it's 7 o'clock that one. Then I'll know what angle I'm looking at. Next we've got FC Eindhoven versus Excelsior in the Eerste division, is it? The equivalent of the Championship in Netherlands. So what have we got here? I've got back Eindhoven or Dutch. And my reasoning would be that Eindhoven are unbeaten at home in the last 5. They've won 3 of them, and they've kept a clean sheet in the last 4 home and away matches. So combined, 2 of those were at home. So even though Excelsior are performing well in the league, I think Eindhoven at home have got a strong record, and it shows that there is some value there. Even though they're favourites in the odds, but they should be higher favourites according to the value odds. So I'm looking to back Eindhoven there. And if you look at the Dutch scores, you've got 2-1, 1-0, and then you've still got the insurance of 1-1 and 2-2. So I might get involved in the Dutch. I probably would have liked to have seen 2-0 in there, so I might change that up a little bit. But because these aren't settings, these are suggestions. It doesn't mean that you can't shift out some of those scores and put your own in. Don't get stuck in the mindset of having to copy everything that is suggested on these models. You are allowed to trust your instinct as well. It's there for your information. So then Young Ajax versus Young PSV. We've got a back of Ajax or Dutchin. So Ajax are unbeaten in the last 5 home matches, winning 4 of them. And 8 out of 10 of these games between the two have seen over 2.5 goals. So that little note there is a tip towards what's going on in the Dutchin. So as you can see, all of these score lines have got both teams to score. And apart from the 1-1, they're all over 2.5 goals. So that sort of backs up that comment there. Ajax have got a strong home record, and you can see 1.79 to 2 the value. So I think we've got 2-1, 3-1, 3-2. We haven't got 1-0 or 2-0, so I'm not sure yet what I'll be doing there, but that would be the angle we'd be looking at. Then we've got Utrecht and Helmond in the same division, and I'd be looking to lay the home team in this one. Reason being that they've lost the last 5 home matches, conceding 13 and scoring 1. And Helmond have lost 2, drawn 2, and won 1 away, which isn't a terrible record. So yeah, they're bottom, I think, Utrecht, and I know they're at home, but they've got the odds are massively too low, to be backing them. And so, yeah, I mean, if you were feeling adventurous, shows how exciting I am. If you were wanting to take a gamble, you could back the away team here, but I like the insurance of the lay because you've got value in both the draw and the away win. So that's the angle on that one. Roda versus Volendam. Volendam are top, I think, from what I remember. And I've got a draw here. But yeah, so Volendam, even though they're looking like they show good value here, Roda have actually won the last 3 home games, and they beat Den Haag 5-0 in their last game, and Den Haag are 3rd, so they're better than, according to the table, they're higher. Let's have a look, actually, because I'm saying that now. I'm sure there was something that made me say that the Den Haag game needed to be considered. Forgetting my alphabet now. That doesn't really matter which one we look at. So yeah, Volendam are top, but Den Haag are 3rd. That's right. So they're higher in the league than Roda, and they still managed to beat 5-0. So it looked like a a very even match for me here. I don't, even though there's value in the away win, there's also value in the draw. So I'm going to be back in the draw in this one. And as it happens, this is also something that's come up on the back the draw system. My MBM draw system has come up as a draw with completely different parameters, completely different attributes, and a much more detailed look at the team. So the draw is being backed up by Poisson, so I'm happy with that. I wouldn't be looking to Dutch it. It's too heavily reliant on the away team winning, so there we go. And then Tondela Benfica. This is one that a couple of members have messaged today, Nuno in particular, pointed it out first, so thanks for that, Nuno. I had to increase the score lines in this one to 10 goals for Benfica, because there was a 0.3% chance of them scoring 10. So all the other ones, we had a 5x5 grid, but that was only getting like 68% of the scores, so we had to increase it to 10, which is, I think it's a little bit of a lopsided one for that. So for that reason alone, I've just put no bet, because there's no value in. I mean, well, you could argue there is value at 1.29, but it's not something I'd be interested in. And the score lines, you're just getting any other away win for a lot of them, which is only sort of like 3.6. So, and most of the ones that they're suggesting are coming up at that. And I don't like these sorts of games at all. There's every chance it could finish 1-0. I don't like waiting for goals when an away team is massively favourite, so I'll be leaving that one alone. I just wanted to show you that. I just want to show you a glimpse into how I would use the pack on a daily basis, setting out a trading plan, if you like. I'll then make notes on these separately, probably on a piece of paper, and just sort of tell myself what I want to do should certain scenarios occur throughout the matches. And I'll narrow these down a little bit before the game, obviously. This one kicks off at 6, so there's a likelihood that I'll see how this one goes, or how it's going at 7 before deciding what to do in the Dutch ones, but that's completely up to you. But it's good to have a plan. It's good to know what you're betting on, so that you don't just get involved in random games and lose your bank. So, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll be with you for the next one.